Most people only focus on the dribble, what moves players make, speed changes. But as a hooper, you have two arms, and that off arm is maybe just as important as the dribbling hand, and could be a key factor that you're missing as a hooper. So we'll check out a few ways you can use it to take your ball handling to the next level that you may have never even thought of. And before we get into this video, I just want to establish that none of these are fouls. If you look at the rule book, nothing says you can't use your off arm to gain an advantage. So if you're in control, not charging into the defender, and not literally throwing them out of the way, you should be good. And you see the top players at every level, from high school to pros, using this every game. So first, using your off arm can actually create leverage on your defender. When someone does this to you, you'll feel yourself stuck in place because you're very discreetly being pushed backwards. And that's actually why it's so effective. Defenders often just naturally play with one hand in your space. And if they do that, it's completely legal for you to use your off arm to control your space and get that advantage on them. So it should actually be a great sign if your defender reaches, because it invites you to knock their hand down and blow by with one move. Plus, when you're accelerating, your arm swings in that motion naturally, like you see Dame do here. If you combine the two and use your off arm to both accelerate and knock the defender's hand down, I guarantee you'll be able to blow by your defender way more often. Many times you won't get 100% by your defender though, and you need that extra bit of separation to finish. Once again, it doesn't take much with your off arm to get that advantage. Watch here how Kyrie isn't fully by his defender, so he uses his off arm to hold him off and control his space, and then finish. But be careful here. If you push off instead of simply controlling your space, it'll become a foul, or at least throw you off balance for the finish. But if you use it discreetly, without fully extending your elbow, it can be used on a ton of different finishes. Coming off of pick and rolls is all about pace and taking your time. But to do this, you gotta know where your defender is at all times. So what's the best way to do this? Yep, you guessed it. So you're coming off a screen. At this point, you're surveying the court, but you can't lose track of where your defender is as you hold him off. So that off arm has got to be active as you feel out where your defender is behind you. Watch here how Harden has a hand on his defender at all times. First the left, then the right. And then D'Lo does the same thing here. If you snake the screen, same idea. Watch here how my arm feels him moving in front of me, so I step back to get a few feet of separation. And even though it may not be taught often, the off arm is huge on turnaround jumpers. Kyrie already has Clay's momentum moving forward, so when Kyrie gives him that little forearm bump, puts him on his heels so he has a few extra inches of space to fade back. This one's a little bit more dangerous, but if you don't make it obvious, it creates a bunch of separation to turn around and have options. And even if you don't use it to create space, you can use it to feel out your defender's position and decide what side to turn around and shoot to.
Gordon sticks right with him, contests the shot, count it, and one.
Like usual, make sure to check back every Wednesday and Sunday for new breakdowns, vlogs, and more. And also make sure to subscribe and check out the Instagram page for even more.